So we have with us the Associate Professor of NTUA, Nikos Belavilas, who is also a good friend. And Nikos, apart from teaching urban planning here in this school, he has always been very active in urban movements here in Athens. For example, the movement against Olympic Games and the movement for defending public space. And during the last year, he is involved in the movement against the development and privatization of the former airport of Nikos, the case that Andreas presented earlier. And Nikos was the coordinator of research group that conducted a proposal for the development of for the creation of a metropolitan park in the area of the former airport. In cooperation with local authorities and local urban movements, and many of the organizers took part in this research project. So, Nico, you have long experience on the urban transformation in Athens and the actions of urban social movements. And we will start from you, and we would like to ask you to make some comments on the presentation that we had earlier, and we will pose some questions to you and also to all the people here in this room. So, first of all, about the policies. Are there common trends in the promoted urban policies in Southern Europe? What do you think? And second, regarding the crisis, are there shifts and ruptures, continuities and discontinuities in the implementation of urban policies due to the crisis or not? And third, regarding the social movement, could their organization and actions contribute to the establishment of a planning system that meets broader social needs?
And a somehow provocative question is, can we, in the context of extreme poverty, should the struggle against privatization and speculation on land be a priority now in our cities in Southern Europe?
Thank you very much for calling me here. It's important for us to have you all together. Nearly hundreds of friends from Southern Europe. It's important for our school. We have a school with an old tradition by the social movements of Athens. Since 1973, since the student rebellion against junta. An old story, but an important story for the identity of this building where you are in. Second is that my English are very bad. I am born in Port of Piraeus. I like and I speak a maritime international lingua franca somehow, if you know what means lingua franca. But I will try to express what I feel here and what I think after your presentations. It seems that we experience a nightmare. In Athens, we do. During the last 2 years, we couldn't imagine that what happens could happen. But it seems also that it is a very simple, or a very we can easily now understand what happened. We will have David Harvey during the afternoon, and we will have the possibility to discuss about all this. It seems, and I feel it's clear that, or it is a common sense that crisis is the product, is the result of this urban bubble, beginning from the United States maybe, and it is the result of a whole process since 90s up to 2008, with real estate, with loans, with this gigantic character of public works roads, railways, airports, ports. This gigantic character of mega projects, mega events, you remember Olympic Games or Expo events around Europe, and somehow a plan with public money for private market. It seems that we arrived at the end of crisis. We described that the crisis was the product of all this process, and the nightmare is that now, knowing, having the knowledge, it seems that we decide to continue like this. What we've just discovered that happens in Madrid or Barcelona is exactly this. We continue. We continue demolishing our societies, we continue demolishing our economies, moving towards an oligarchy, an urban oligarchy. It's also clear, listening to this Babis guy from Barcelona, to understand that we are moving towards a social apartheid, towards the opposite meaning of ghetto from what we used to know, a ghetto for rich people, not for Jews, not for poor people, a gated community and a sea of poverty around it.
Let's fence this gap.
So, remember Barcelona, remember Berlin, remember Sevilla, remember Lisboa, remember Athens and London, and or maybe Glasgow also, and let us start searching what we can do against it. Veronique asked me if, and Evangelia, if there is a continuity. We have to look the one part and the other. Continuity of what? We have a continuity of a main plan from the one part, from the part of dominant system of urban policies. It is a straight plan with the same policy, building step by step the frame we now can see around the cities. From the other part, through the Greek experience, I can tell you that since 2004, since the Olympic Games, we have an explosion of social movements. Maybe you know it. We have hundreds of social movements in Athens and then spread all around the country. It means something. It means a development of another way of thinking. We rediscovered politics for small things, for protecting our neighborhood or for protecting our coast or our small forest or public space. And through the experience of social movements, we discovered also that we can win. We managed, thousands of people managed to stop projects or to stop the disasters of the Olympic constructions or the great projects. So we have a new tradition of only 6 years, which gives to people an
self-confidence.
Self-confidence, that's right. We enter the crisis. 2 years earlier, 2006, we had a big European meeting at Lincoln Airport, in the Lincoln Airport, the European Social Forum. Maybe you know what is the European Social Forum. A lot of you. A meeting of movements, a meeting of groups, and we had a lot of discussions about education, about environment, about civic groups, etc. the discussion was not so mature as it seems to be today here. I feel that listening to the Portuguese colleagues or the Spaniards, we know what we want, and we start thinking the day after. For first time, I can listen, I can hear from other countries, militant groups describing methodology for a new city, for a new way of life, for a new way of organizing the society, not the neoliberal or not the known, up to now, straight capitalistic model. And they do not only describe it, but they manage to organize it too. The social medical center of Nikos, or the social mini markets. We start some kind of communal or fair trade mini markets. We are trying to build around Athens now in the middle of crisis. And we have a lot of experiments like this. It seems to be a new type or a new step towards a new type of society. It is quite clear to all of us that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, there was no alternative, even for us. The socialism, as it was known through the experience of 20th century, was not an alternative, and we had the knowledge. Of course, after 1989, we were very sure about it. We are looking for the new model, and our work here is to discuss about the urban model, not about the social model, of course. And from every part of the world, from every part of Europe, messages are arriving saying that those small experiments, those small ideas, seem to build the new dream, the new model. I can imagine also that even if we are not going to win, and I'm very clear of this, we can push things towards a new direction. Remember the social movements that Lefebvre or Castells described during the 60s. The European Spring of 60s, or the anti-war movement of North America of 60s, they don't manage to win, but they manage to change the world. There is a very important, the world. They manage to stop the war, and they manage to change the world. It's more important. For example, what I like to tell to my students is that if there was no May of 68, I had to wear a gravata, a tie, to be with a custom, and there should not be such a meeting here. Okay? This was the old type of university. I was the first generation after it, but there was a big change because of this movement. There was a big change also to the way of thinking universal values. There was a big wave of change, and the humanity accepted through those movements that environment is very important and equal important with the other universal values of liberty, of human life, of value of human life, or values coming from early 19th century. So we had a new tradition, we had a new acceptance of all those new things. what shall we do? It is important that we discuss together. We see, look at the images coming from Italy, from Turin, and you can see smiles, feelings, people looking exactly like our people of Central Macedonia, given a battle this very moment against a gold mine, trying to protect their forest. They do not know that you exist here. They do not know that another group in turn gives the same battle. And you use the same words, you use the same slogans, you use the same language, exactly as Babis guy used the same language with Polaris guy from the other part of the fortress. We have to remember it, we have to know it. And we have to know that things are looking like being separation of two worlds, two different worlds with the society from the one part and the oligarchy I was telling you from the other. This oligarchy will not manage to continue through democratic rules. In Greece we live it already. We have a coup d'etat, a constitutional coup d'etat. They cannot follow even their rules. They cannot follow even their laws. They have to demolish it. And from the other part, this cannot move on forever, because people resist, people do not pay, people do not accept their decisions, and they have day by day to move to a new you described it as a state of emergency, a new authoritarian system. It seems that we have a change from oligarchy to tyranny. It seems that we have a change from a new type of democracy without rules, without laws, and with models of parliaments or authorities being under the market, being under another system of rules, the market rules. Let us describe three different steps of what we are doing. The first one, resistance. You feel that you have to stop a huge motorway or a huge golden mine or the privatization of Ellinikon plot in Spain, in Barcelona, in Madrid, everywhere. The second step is to prove that their arguments are not correct. To prove to the people that we can do something better with less money, or that it costs very much, what they are going to do. I was laughing when Italian colleagues were describing the 600% increase of prices of the mega project there, or 7 billion per kilometer. Not even Babis guy is exactly the same with Polaris guy, but the prices are the same, and the increase is the same. Here we had some 700% increase of Olympic budget. Seven times. Okay? We paid 7 times, 700% more the Olympic budget than what it was planned at the beginning of the planning of the games 8 years earlier. And we discovered the difference years and years after, some months ago. It seems that the same happened in Italy too, in Barcelona, in Spain, in Portugal. The third, when you demolish their arguments, and it is important to demolish them, reconstruct their arguments, explain that the Ellinikon airport can be a park with 100 million euros, and they want to build a city paying from our pocket for infrastructure only 2.5 billion euros. Some 25 times more than what we propose. And build infrastructures for the market which will come to buy the plot with a very low price. The third step, after the construction of their argument, is to plan our cities. To plan what we want to do. This is what we try to do at the Ellinikon Airport. If we manage to win and stop them, we have to make the Metropolitan Park of Ellinikon. We have to find the way for free costs. We have to rethink and rediscover social housing under conditions, under new conditions, and not under the conditions we used to have during the 60s and 70s, and you know very well what I'm talking about. We have to find a new type of infrastructures for the city and not infrastructures for regenerating the market, destroying environment. And we have, of course, to find this necessary equivalence between environmental issue and urban issue, but not under the rules of market, not under the decrease of the environmental value, because we have to increase the financial or the okay.
We can discuss about it.
Yes, all right. So we will.
Sum up.
No, I want to sum up, telling exactly this, to keep in mind these 3 different levels of fight, 3 different levels of thinking, 3 different steps, and I believe that we are somewhere between the second and the third step, to plan our cities and to plan our new way of living in it.
Thank you very much.